Have you ever stood in front of the mirror and quietly asked yourself, do I still have that spark? As the years go by, it's normal to wonder if you still catch the eyes of others the way you used to. You might think that your best days are behind you, that the charm you once had has slowly faded with time. But what if I told you that you might be far more attractive now than you've ever been, in ways you never imagined? You see, true attractiveness isn't just about a wrinkle-free face or a full head of hair. Real attraction goes deeper. It's about presence, wisdom, the calm confidence you carry with you, and the quiet strength you've built through experience. It's in the way you enter a room, how others respond when you speak, and the energy you bring without even trying. There are subtle but powerful signs that reveal you're a handsome older man, even if you don't always see it in yourself. In this video, we're going to explore 7 of those signs, and these aren't just shallow observations about your looks. They're about the energy you give off, the respect you command, and the way people, especially women, respond to you on a much deeper level. So, I invite you to stay with me until the very end, because what you're about to hear might shift the way you see yourself. You might realize that the compliments you once brushed off, the glances you thought were random, or the conversations that lingered longer than expected, were actually clues all along. And by the time we finish, you may begin to see what others already do, that your age hasn't taken away your attractiveness. It has revealed it. Before we begin, if you haven't subscribed yet, take a moment to do that now and tap the notification bell so you won't miss any future videos. If this topic speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0, so I know what kind of content to improve for you. Let's get started. Sign number 1. People often come to you for advice, even when you don't expect it. One of the clearest signs that others find you attractive, especially women, is how often they seek your guidance. This might not seem like a compliment, but it says a lot about how you're perceived. When people, particularly women, approach you for advice, insight, or just to talk, it means they trust you. And that trust, that calm, steady presence, that's extremely attractive. As you've aged, you've gained life experience. You've seen things, learned lessons, survived storms. That wisdom radiates in everything you do, even if you don't talk about it. People are drawn to that kind of energy. It's grounding, it's comforting, it's rare. Women, in particular, are often deeply attracted to men who carry themselves with emotional intelligence and inner strength. It's not about bragging or showing off, it's about how you make people feel safe, heard, and respected. When you speak, people listen. That alone speaks volumes. Think back. Have younger men ever asked for your opinion on their careers or relationships? Have friends confided in you, asking for life advice? Have strangers ever randomly started conversations, drawn to your presence without knowing why? Those moments aren't random. They're reflections of how magnetic your energy really is. Take Richard, for example. At 67, he never considered himself a particularly handsome man, but whether at family events, neighborhood gatherings, or even a walk through the park, people gravitated toward him. Women lingered in conversations. Younger men asked for life advice. He didn't try to impress anyone, he just showed up as himself. And that was enough. His presence, his calm voice, and his quiet confidence made people feel safe. That kind of magnetism isn't taught, it's earned, and it's one of the most attractive things a man can carry. Sign number 2. You get compliments on your style, even when you're not trying. A sharp sense of style doesn't go unnoticed. If people often comment on how well you dress, how clean you look, or how put together you always seem, it's not just about your clothes. It's about your presence. A well-groomed older man with a clean shave or neatly trimmed beard, a crisp shirt, a signature scent, or just the way he wears a blazer, it all says, I respect myself. And when you respect yourself, others are drawn to you. You don't need to follow fashion trends to be stylish. You need to know what works for you and wear it with quiet confidence. That's what people notice. Take Robert, for example. At 68, he wasn't trying to be flashy, but women noticed his polished shoes, the way his clothes fit, and how he always looked clean and intentional. At first, he thought they were just being nice, but over time, he realized it was admiration. When people compliment your look, they're often responding to the energy behind it. You're telling the world without saying a word that you take pride in yourself. And women? They see that, they respect it, and they're drawn to it. Even if they don't always say it aloud, watch for the small reactions. The longer looks, the friendly smiles, the subtle changes in body language. These are signs that your presence is leaving an impact. Sign number 3. Women hold your gaze longer than expected. Attraction doesn't always show up in loud, obvious ways. Sometimes it's in a glance that lasts just a second too long. If a woman locks eyes with you and holds that gaze even slightly longer than usual, that's no accident. Prolonged eye contact is one of the most powerful, unspoken signals of interest. It's quiet, subtle, and deeply revealing. A woman might not say, "I find you attractive," but if her eyes linger on you, especially in silence, it means something. It might happen in a coffee shop, a bookstore, or while walking through the park. A glance, a brief look away, and then a second glance back, those moments speak volumes. It means something about you captured her attention, your energy, your calm, your presence. Take Charles, for instance. At 72, he thought he was invisible to women. But one afternoon in a bookstore, he noticed a younger woman looking at him. Their eyes met. She smiled gently before turning back to her book. It wasn't flirtation, it was respect, interest, intrigue, and that's the magic of being a confident older man. You don't have to chase attention, you simply attract it. Quietly, powerfully, naturally. Maybe she was younger, maybe she was closer to your age, but you noticed it, the way she held eye contact with you just a little longer than usual. Or the way she kept the conversation going, asking about your thoughts, your experiences, even the little things that most people ignore. It wasn't loud, it wasn't obvious, but it was real. That kind of attention isn't random. Women are instinctively drawn to men who make them feel calm, heard, and safe. A man who listens. A man who doesn't need to fill every silence with noise. A man who knows who he is and doesn't need to prove it. And when you have that kind of grounded presence, something powerful happens. People trust you more. They open up to you, even when they don't really know why. If someone has ever told you, "I don't usually talk about this, but that's your signal," you're radiating something quietly attractive. Something that isn't about looks at all, something that's about your energy. At the end of the day, attractiveness isn't just what you see in the mirror. It's what people feel when they're around you. If people enjoy your company, if conversations feel easy, if women open up or stay just a little longer, it's not coincidence. That's connection, that's presence, and that's exactly what makes you stand out. Sign number 5. You carry a calm, confident presence that others can't ignore. One of the most magnetic traits in any man, especially as he gets older, is the ability to walk through life with quiet, relaxed confidence. You don't need to be the loudest voice in the room. You don't need to impress anyone. You just are. And that's powerful. Younger men are often still searching for themselves. They try to prove their worth by chasing status, attention, or validation. But you've lived, you've struggled, you've overcome, you've made peace with who you are. That's why your confidence doesn't scream, it whispers. And still, people hear it. When you enter a room, the energy subtly shifts. People make space for you in conversations. Women feel safe around you. You're not trying to dominate, but your presence is impossible to ignore. That's the kind of confidence that makes people lean in, that earns trust without demanding it. Think of someone like George. He's 74. He doesn't dress to impress, and he never brags. But when he walks into a room, people notice. Not because he's trying, but because he radiates something strong, steady, and deeply appealing. Women don't flock to him because he's flashy. They're drawn to the calm strength he carries in his silence. In a world full of noise, anxiety, and insecurity, a man who is at ease with himself is like a breath of fresh air. And yes, women notice. They notice when you don't rush to speak, but when you do, it matters.